At the foot of the Sierra Madre Mountains, in the town of Dingalan, Aurora, you'll find a community rich in culture and history. These are the Dumagat people, one of the native groups in the Philippines. Their name is said to come from the words Ruma and Dagat, meaning people of the sea. Even though they're known for living near the ocean, many of them also rely on the mountains for their livelihood. Their life is simple, peaceful, and far from the noise of the city. Their connection to nature is deep and sacred, a legacy from their ancestors. The Dumagat way of life revolves around hunting, fishing, and gathering forest products like charcoal, rattan, and honey. These are their main sources of food and income. Their homes, made from local materials like bamboo and nipa, reflect their simple way of life. Children grow up learning traditional knowledge from their elders. Respect for nature and for others is an important part of their culture. Their community is tightly knit, and the spirit of bayanihan, community cooperation, is very much alive in their daily routines. But despite their peaceful lives, they face challenges, especially now when information is so important. Their location in remote areas keeps them far from centers of civilization. Traveling from their community to the nearest town can take several hours, requiring them to cross rivers and climb mountains. Because of this, basic services like education, healthcare, and especially access to news and information are not easy to get. Their world seems to revolve only around their community. Being far from modern society also means they are often behind on the news. While the whole world is connected through the internet, television, and radio, the Dumagat people remain in the shadow of what we call the information age. Announcements from the government, warnings about approaching typhoons, or important political events often don't reach them in time. This is a big gap that needs to be addressed to make sure they are not left behind. Their isolation creates a kind of vulnerability that we should pay attention to. One of the biggest hurdles for the Dumagat people in getting information is their location. Their communities are spread out in remote and mountainous areas of Dingalan. The nearest town is often several hours away on foot. There are no proper roads to their areas, so travel is difficult and dangerous, especially when the weather is bad. Because of this distance, newspapers don't reach them. Even simple announcements posted in the town hall are not read by them. They seem cut off from the wider society. Aside from distance, a big problem is the lack of technology. In many Dumagat communities, there's no electricity. Without electricity, they can't use televisions or charge cell phones. Cell phone and internet signals are also almost non-existent in their areas. While we're busy with social media and trending news online, they know nothing about these things. The digital divide, or the gap between those who have access to technology and those who don't, is very wide. The information that is at our fingertips is something out of reach for them. There's also a language barrier. The Dumagat people have their own language called Dumagat Agta. Although many of them understand and speak Tagalog, news on television, radio, and in newspapers often uses deep words or technical terms that are hard for them to understand. Information about new laws, health issues, or government programs needs to be translated in a simpler way that they can easily understand. If the information isn't suited to their culture and language, it won't be effective. The combination of these challenges, distance, lack of technology, and language differences, creates a big wall that separates the Dumagat people from the flow of information. This makes them vulnerable. For example, when a strong typhoon is coming, the warning might not reach them early enough. Because of this, they can't prepare well, which puts their lives at risk. The lack of information isn't just an issue of being behind on the news, it's an issue of safety and human rights. The lack of access to timely information has a deep effect on the Dumagat people's awareness of important social issues. Many government programs and aid don't benefit them because they don't even know they exist. Programs like 4PS, free vaccinations, or aid for farmers often don't reach their knowledge. Because of this, they are deprived of opportunities that could help improve their quality of life. Their involvement in national affairs is limited, not because of a lack of interest, but because of a lack of knowledge. In political matters, their voices are often not heard. During election season, they become targets for politicians who take advantage of their lack of information. Since they don't fully know the candidates or their platforms, their voting might not be based on careful study. Their understanding of issues like charter change, federalism, or new laws is shallow. If they don't have enough information, how can they choose leaders who will truly serve their interests and well-being? This weakens their ability to participate in the democratic process. Their understanding of environmental issues is also affected. As guardians of the mountains and the sea, their role is very important. But if they don't know about threats like illegal mining, illegal logging, or climate change, how can they protect their ancestral lands? News about projects that could harm their environment might not reach them. They are the first to be affected by environmental damage, but they are also the last to know about the forces causing it. Information is a weapon to protect their wealth. Because of these things, they remain on the fringes of society. The information gap makes poverty worse and keeps them in a cycle of disadvantage. Without enough knowledge, it's hard for them to assert their rights, fight for their ancestral lands, and keep up with the country's development. Giving them access to information isn't just a way of helping, but an acknowledgement of their right as Filipino citizens. This is an important step towards building a more inclusive society where no one is left behind. Despite the challenges, there are steps that can be taken to help the Dumagat community. Media companies have a big role to play. They can create radio programs in the Dumagat Agta language or in simple Tagalog. Radio, especially solar-powered or battery-operated ones, is an effective way to reach them because it doesn't need electricity. The news should be practical and related to their daily lives, such as prices of goods, weather conditions, and health programs. Setting up community radio stations is also a good solution. Local government and non-governmental organizations should work together to be a bridge for information. Barangay health workers or municipal representatives who visit the communities can bring printed materials like newsletters or comics in their language. The information should be simple, visual, and easy to understand. Regularly holding community assemblies where important announcements and programs are explained is an effective way to ensure information reaches them directly. A practical solution is to set up information hubs in strategic places in their community. This could be a simple bulletin board that is regularly updated by a designated community leader. Warnings, announcements, and other important information can be posted here. Providing solar-powered radios to each family or each sub-village is also a big help. Most importantly, we need to empower the Dumagat people themselves. Training some of them as community journalists or information officers will ensure that news comes from and is shared within their own community. Ensuring that Indigenous communities like the Dumagat have enough access to information is a call for a more just and inclusive society. This should not be seen as charity, but as a basic right. Information is power. The power to decide, to protect oneself, and to participate in building our nation. Through the cooperation of media, government, and the private sector, we can break down the barriers that separate them. It's time to listen to their voices and ensure that in the flow of information, no one is left behind, especially our Indigenous brothers and sisters.